Hi, this is Carlos, and this presentation is what I like to call Carlos's 10 Commandments for Entrepreneurs. This is part of my journey in raising capital in Silicon Valley and what I walked away as some of the things to keep in mind as being an entrepreneur. And with that, I'd like to start off with the first and most important commandment. You have to believe in yourself. This is really important. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe that you can do it, might as well just don't even go in there, because this is going to be quite a journey that you're going to be in. And you have to believe that what you're doing, it is the best thing in the world. You have to believe in yourself. Otherwise, this is not for you. That's one of the things that I learned. You have to believe, you have to be crazy, and you have to be passionate about what you're doing, about what you're going to do, and about why you're doing it. And the same token, commandment number 2 is that you have to find someone that is just as passionate and as crazy as you are. Believe it or not, this is extremely important, because the person that is going to become your right hand, your left hand, your wingman, your wingwoman, your backup plan, whatever you want to call it, he has to be just as crazy as you are, and they have to believe in themselves as much as you have to believe in yourself, because this is the only way that you can succeed, if the person next to you is just as crazy and as passionate as you are. And also the reason is because you cannot do it everything by yourself. So having someone that you can bounce ideas off, that you can share ideas and talk about why you're willing to go through this and change the world, he has to be an exact mirror of you in the craziness and in the passionate and everything else about it. You can be completely opposites in ideas and everything else when it comes to doing certain things. And that's why commandment number 3 says you have to be brutally honest with each other and with everybody else that you meet in your journey as an entrepreneur and trying to raise capital or trying to do something with your company. Honestly, it is one of the things that you have to always keep in mind when you are dealing with people, and especially your business partner, whatever that person is. You have to be able to scream at each other. You have to be able to, go at it and scream for hours on each other's end, and at the same time that you scream and yell and are passionate, and you're trying to instill your idea and he's trying to instill his idea, you have to remember that you're doing this because of the company, because of the vision that you both share, as well as being honest with everybody else around you. And you have to be honest with yourself. You have to understand what your limitations are. You have to understand your capabilities. You have to understand what you can do, what you can bring to the table, and you have to be able to honestly believe that the other person can actually deliver just as much as you can. Commandment number 4, you have to find divine inspiration. There's many ways to interpret this, but divine inspiration means you gotta find that place that you can go and get re-inspired every day that you go through the journey as being an entrepreneur, because it is extremely important to be inspired, because every morning that you wake up, you're going to go through the treacherous and arduous and painful uh, thought process of, why are you doing this? Why am I not back in my cushy cubicle or my cushy office that I had? Why am I doing this? When you have people that give you the inspiration that you need and make you realize that you are the crazy one, that you are the passionate one, that you're the one that believes in what you're doing, and or other means of finding that inspiration, you have to go out there and get it. Doesn't have to be every day, doesn't have to be every other day, has to be when you're down. Your partner, your business partner, it becomes your best friend. He becomes your better half. He can be your divine inspiration. You can be his divine inspiration, because this is a journey about both of you getting somewhere. Commandment number 5, and I put it in the middle, says that it is not about the money. It never is, and it never can be about the money. Because cashing out for something that you're trying to do in changing the world because you're crazy to do that, it's not about the money. You can become a drug dealer and make more money in a week than you can probably make in an entire year. Coke is cheap in Florida. No, I'm serious. It cannot be about the money, because it has to be about the journey, it has to be about the experience, it has to be about everything that you do, because you're trying to change the world. If it becomes about money, might as well you would have stayed at your cushy cubicle and climb up the corporate ladder. That's much easier than going around and trying to convince people to give you money, especially if you've never done that before. You're going to have moments of doubts. There's a Rolling Stones song that says, I was there when Jesus had his moment of doubt and pain. Yes, you're going to go through that every day, after going through and convincing people to give you money because your idea is the best idea in the world and you can deliver this, you can grow potentially, you can do things that none of the competitors can do, because you have the pedigree, you come from that company that did this, you've done this before, you can do it again, you have the right team. And everybody's going to go around and tell you, no, you know what, go get traction, go get validation, let me see what people are saying, but what about this competitor? Well, but isn't the company they used to work for going to do this? Can't they just flip on a switch and do it because they have $3 billion in the bank or whatever it is that they have? Can't they just go ahead and hire a whole bunch of people just like yourself and have something like this ready in about a month versus 6, 7, 9 months that you need the money for? When you hear that over and over again, you're going to have your moment of doubt. And that's when you go and you find your divine inspiration, which was number 4 on my list of top 10 commandments. Number 7. This is extremely important, because if you listen to people that have no clue as to what you're doing, then you're going to go and start doubting yourself. You're going to start doubting yourself every morning. You have to ignore all of them. You have to cut them off. Don't try to convince the people that are not convinced. Try to talk to the people that are willing to listen and give you feedback. Constructive criticism is not the same thing as somebody told you that's not going to go anywhere. What would you want to do something like that? What would you want to quit your cushy job? Why are you putting up your money? Where are you going to get the money from? Right? Dude, that's not going to happen. You have grandiose dreams. Somebody else is going to do that with a lot more money than you are. Cut them off. You have to cut them off. Everybody that has a negative field around you, you have to cut them off and align yourself with all the positive people around you that can help you every day to get up and go through the journey every morning. Because really, none of them has a clue. Number 8, you have to keep it real. The entire process, you have to keep it real. You have to know what you're doing. You and your co-founder and the person with you, your girlfriend, your wife, your spouse, your significant other, you have to keep it real. Just as much as you're keeping it honest, you have to be honest, you have to be real. You cannot go chasing things because somebody tells you, oh, but you know what, this other guy is doing this, maybe you should do that. That's not keeping it real. Keeping it real is keeping and sticking to what you decided to do from the very beginning. Don't change course in the middle. If you do, you show weaknesses. You're easily convinced. You change things in the middle because that's what you believed in, not because somebody else said to you, hey, why don't you do this? Hey, shouldn't you be doing this? Well, this other company, we invested money in this other company, maybe you should do that. That's not keeping it real. Keeping it real is telling those people as well, hey, you know what? No, this is what we're going to do because this is what I believe in, and this is how we're going to change the market. As well as realizing that keeping it real might also mean one day that you do not raise capital and therefore you have to close shop. That's reality as well. You got to keep your feet on the ground as much as keeping your hopes really, really high. You got to have fun. You have to have fun. You got to laugh at yourself. You got to laugh with your co-founder. You got to laugh about the mistakes that you make. You have to enjoy the far and few in between successes that you have. When you get the first call from the VC that they want to listen to your pitch, you go out there and you celebrate. By the 20th VC that you're talking to, and they're not giving you any money, they just keep telling you to come back because you want to get more traction, you got to laugh at it. You got to laugh at yourself. You got to laugh at them as well because they are the ones that don't understand what you're doing. And you got to have fun. You got to celebrate the fact that you're doing something that a lot of other people are not willing to do, which is to take a risk. And you're doing that because you believe in yourself, because you have somebody that is crazy and as passionate as you are, that believes in you as much as you believe in him or her. You're doing this because you want to change the world. It's not because of the money. You're doing it because you want to prove everybody else wrong. But more importantly, it's yourself. So you can get those doubts off your head. This is how you do it. You got to have fun. And the most important commandment that I have for all of you who are listening is the journey is the reward. Thank you.